Hello, hello, hello again. I'm Teacher Oakley, and welcome to Verbling. In this class, we will continue IELTS reading, and we will actually do some practice exercises. We will take it nice and slow. Please, for those of you outside viewing, please download the 2 documents that you can see below the class description, because we'll be looking at those 2 passages, cure-all pills and global warming, and we'll be using the text in those passages to answer some reading questions. Yes, indeed. Okay. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello, Igor.
Hi, Oakley. Hi.
All right. Okay, guys. All right, we're gonna jump right in.
Okay.
Yes?
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Have you ever met any native speaker who got less than 8?
Well, me. The first.
Really?
Well, the first time as I was explaining in the last class, the first time I took the test, and I didn't practice or study whatsoever, and I got 7.5. The second time I took it, once I knew what I was doing and I studied, I did much better. But yeah, Igor's right. How he ended the class, and he said, practice, practice, practice is the key. He's absolutely right. Anybody has to practice for this, even a native speaker.
For me, TOEFL doesn't seem so difficult. When I took first time, yeah. I mean, listening part and reading part, because writing and speaking, I cannot do this by myself. On my who would check me? Yeah, writing and I think I did writing, but I do not remember. They gave me the score or not, but I think no. Yeah, for writing.
I don't
know. Writing have to check a person. My writing, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have only 2 scores, 22 points about for listening and for speaking, for reading.
Mm-hmm.
So 7 for foreigners. It's absolutely perfect result.
No, that's not for foreigners. Oh, for ESL, English Second Language, 7's pretty good. Yeah, it kind of works like this. Just to give you an idea, down here if my hand down here is 1, and over here, where's my hand? Oh, there it is. Is a 9. It's kind of a bell curve. Okay, not very many people getting a 9. The average score is around 6. Okay, so you have a lot of 5.5 and 6.5 way up here. Most people get in the middle, the middle is basically 6.
And have you ever met a foreigner who got 9?
A foreigner who got a 9? I don't think I have, honestly. There was a couple. Actually, yes, I have. One. One of my co-teachers, a Filipino woman, she had gotten a 9. We had a few teachers, ESL teachers, that had 8 and 8.5, and they were English teachers. So it's hard. It's not easy. It's interesting. You have to be a bit lucky to get all 9s. I said in the last class, don't leave blank answers. I guessed some of my answers. I just got lucky, really, honestly. Also, the scores are scaled. Okay, so there's 40 questions on the reading test, which we're talking about. There's 40 points possible, but it's scaled to up to band 9. So actually, band 9 is a score of 39 or 40. You can get one wrong and still get a 9, but only one wrong. Okay, so it is scaled. So I think a level 6 is something like 28 to 32. Sometimes that scale shifts because some tests are a little bit harder than others. So you cannot exactly predict your band score, even from your raw score. Sometimes they shift the scale slightly. So it's hard to predict. Okay. Hi, Adku. Nice to see you back. And
Yes.
Adbil, how are you today?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm glad to hear your microphone's working.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Nice to see you. Adbil, do you have plans to take the IELTS exam?
Actually, yes, I'm planning to take this or the TOEFL.
Okay. Everyone's
Well,
trying to decide which one to take.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I understand, and as I advised in the last class, Adku, I don't know. I think it's personal. It's a personal choice, but I would try taking practice tests both and see which one seems to be easier for you, and go with that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering what's the difference between one and another.
Mm-hmm. Well, the most basic difference is TOEFL has moved to the IBT test, which is totally computerized. You talk to a screen in the speaking test. You're typing, you're writing. It's all computerized. So if you're very comfortable with computers, that's cool. If you're not as comfortable with computers, may cause you to struggle. The IELTS test, you go to a testing center and you're writing your answers in an answer sheet. For example, reading, you get a worksheet with the passages and then an answer sheet where you fill in the blanks. That's the biggest difference. The other big difference, TOEFL is academic. It's the idea, the concept, the vocabulary, the topics, all academic. It could be arts and sciences. It could be they're talking about chemistry or wildlife or whatever. Maybe arts. Maybe they're talking about literature or a dance movement in Russia. Who knows? Some kind of academic thing. IELTS has really two forms of the test. It depends why you're taking the test. They have GT, which you would take if you're going to work in a foreign country, and many people think that's easier.
Got it.
And they also have an academic test for people that are going to university. Anyway, let's hopefully, did you guys download the reading passages? Let's actually take a look at one of these. All right, I hope you guys downloaded this. All right. They have an exam. I downloaded a couple reading passages. One was titled "A Global Warning." Now, your strategy when you read this is to quickly go down and kind of get an idea of what it's all about and maybe what where to find specific information. In other words, mapping. All right, getting an idea where information is. All right, you may not actually have time to read the whole thing unless you're a very fast reader. Let's talk about this. Let's look at the reading. If you have the sheet, please pull it up. I'll do a screen share, but it's a little blurry, so it'd be much better if you actually had the document or whatever. Okay, so just taking a quick look here, all right? What I was saying before, the paragraphs have letters. All right, paragraph A, paragraph B. Sometimes
Designation.
Designation. Very good. Oh, we learned something, did we? Terrific. Yeah, they have designations, H-I-J. As you can see, a couple of pages of writing. I forgot how many words it's usually. I forgot. 1,200 words? Something like that. Anyway, so you're going to scan through. What do you look for when you're scanning? All right. Well, I'll tell you. A few things that you can look for. For example, if you see writing in italics, what does that mean? Do you know?
Yeah, with the letters that you now you
highlighted.
Now you show. Yeah, you highlighted.
Yeah,
with
well,
the inclination.
That's right. They're slanted, but in English, where you see italics, we use italics for titles, movie titles, book titles. Actually, this is the accepted form. You're supposed to do this when you're writing in English. So, when I'm scanning, one thing I'm going to look for is, I know that in some of the questions they may ask me about, according to this book, blah, blah, blah. Very common type question. So I'm going to, as I'm scanning, I'm going to look for italics. I'm going to look for, well, tell me, what are maybe some other things I might look for, do you think? Odku, you have any, when I'm scanning, I'm not going to read every word, all right? So what kinds of things would I normally scan for? Italics. What
names,
other
names with the capital letters?
Ding, 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 ding. Al Gore, the Stern Review. Yes. Even
and ears. No ears. I mean
numbers.
Figures. Yeah, numbers.
Yes, I totally agree. That is exactly right. Questions will often refer to the Stern Review. I can you guarantee there'd be a question about that. They may bring up numbers. So exactly, when you're scanning, you're going to pick out easy things to find: names, numbers, italics. Also, when you're scanning, you try to also look for big words. Ooh, catastrophes. Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. Again, look for repeated words. Often that gives you a clue to the overall idea of the paragraph. Be especially careful, all right, of the first sentence of a paragraph. Melting glaciers. I see this kind of construction: melting glaciers, and then a little dash. Well, obviously, this is probably has something to do with melting glaciers. All right, and I see Andes, Himalayas. Okay, I know that there's sea levels. Okay. All right. So I might think to myself, I might actually write down. You can make notes in your workbook. All right. So I might actually jot or just circle. I might circle any keywords or repeated words. It's okay to do that. You can do anything you want with the workbook they hand you. At the end of the test, you will hand it back in and they will shred it. No one will ever see it but you. Melting ice sheets. Very similar. So maybe I have to look a little closer. Floating sea ice. Oh, okay. That's different than glaciers. Arctic summers, ice-free. 10 years. 2050.
But ideal will be to read very fast. An ideal, no? Melting
Ideally?
ice is not only with glasses in mind. I mean, not in out loud, but in mind.
Yeah,
And to
yeah.
understand quickly the main idea, and not to read all text, but for example, first sentence, second you can skip, third, and after one sentence, yeah. Just
Yes,
skip one sentence.
that's it. You've got it. That's
I
exactly
think
right. What?
I think it's enough to just to read melting glaciers and what the rest is absolutely predictable, I think. So
In some cases, yes.
For me, it's not predictable for sure. I need to read half of paragraph to understand.
Even
no, it's absolutely predictable. It's gonna be about sea levels. It's gonna be about water supply and this.
Actually, even I'm hedging my bet. Well, sometimes, yeah, usually. Even I am not willing to commit that it's absolutely predictable.
But after IELTS, after TOEFL or IELTS, when you get a bad score on this test, do not be surprised.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you will think that it's predictable, but after that...
No, you must remember numbers. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, inevitably what will happen is actually you'll find yourself fighting the clock. You think it's predictable, and then you go back, and the information isn't where I thought it would be. So now I have to search for the information. What will happen is it may or may not affect your score. What it will affect is your stress level.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
In TOEFL reading test, is questions is near, and in IELTS, of course, I ask for both tests. Questions are near the text. You can, for example, read the question and read to search answers in the text, or you should read the text and after that you have the questions. But you can view that you can see the text when you see the questions.
Well, in TOEFL, okay, you have the reading passage, and then you're on a TV. Sorry, you're on the internet. You're on a computer screen. You're on the computer screen, so obviously you have to change screens. You can go backwards though, and look at the passage again. All right, but you're doing it on a screen. In the IELTS test, you have a booklet, so the passage is first. When you're in the reading, in the actual reading test, in IELTS, you're going to hear a lot of because people are flipping back and forth. They're looking at the passage, then look at the question, then look at the passage. You're going to hear a lot of rustling paper. I guarantee it, for sure. Because everyone's going back and forth, back and forth. Definitely. Yeah, because everyone has to refer back and forth. Now, hopefully, I want to look at some of these questions here. So I'm hoping that you guys scanned this a little bit. I was showing you a little bit about scanning, but I really want to examine some of the question types. So hang on. Okay, as I said in the last class, all right, here we go. We're starting out. Questions 1 to 3. As I said in the last class, very crucial. Choose no more than 3 words from the passage for each answer. Their instructions. Each section, they'll have a little, questions 1 to 3, and they will give you separate instructions. Really key to understand those instructions. If you write 4 words, you are wrong. No more than 3 words means that you can have 3 words. You cannot have more. Okay. So, for example, let's try this out. Uh, okay. Odku, what do you think here? Question 1.
Yes.
The Stern Review report emphasized the blank to assess seriously the problem of global warming.
I don't know.
No idea. How do you
I
even?
have no idea.
How would you even start? Help.
It's
How could we even start?
first paragraph.
I would
Yeah.
go to the text and would search the word the Stern Review report.
Yes, you would. Very good. All right. So again, okay, here we have the capital letters. Da-da-da-da-da-da. The Stern Review comes up several times in the text, but a lot of the questions, by the way, another helpful hint, a lot of the questions do follow the order of the text. In TOEFL, definitely the questions follow the order of the text. All right, they correspond. TOEFL, more so. They may have, at the end of a TOEFL series of questions, they may have a general question that involves the whole text, the whole passage. Sorry. IELTS tends to, but IELTS will throw up questions, which you will soon see, that involve the entire passage. Okay. All right, so going back to the beginning, I remembered that the Stern Review report starts off the whole text, and they mention it a couple times, so here we go. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so reading the, I'm going to more carefully now read